front door, who's coming and going. Now, they asked this question knowing that the shooter may have done whatever he wanted, but the cameras, A, would have deterred, or B, captured a better look at him, and we wouldn't be here today 5 days out. I want you to explain that, because there's a lot of parents who are wondering, where are you investing your money?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, and I want to reiterate, as our president did, that supporting our students and communicating to the parents, to our community about our support is of utmost importance. We have 1,200 cameras located throughout the campus. We don't publish the locations of the cameras. That would give a map to somebody to evade action on the cameras, so that would be counterproductive to do that. There are cameras in this building, and as I answered the previous question, we have turned over all evidence that we are holding at Brown to law enforcement and are cooperating fully with them.
So you're saying that there's a camera, you're saying there's cameras in the building. I was told yesterday there wasn't cameras in the building. The Attorney General said, old building, no cameras, attached to a new building with cameras.
I believe he said that there were 2 different phases of the building that might have 2 different levels of technology. Again, all video imagery has been turned over to law enforcement.
That doesn't make sense to
Amanda.
people. Just want to say that.
Okay. I have a question for the chief and a question for the FBI. Hey, Chief.
Chief, how you doing, Amanda?
So, looking at this person of interest, and from his witness descriptions, it appears that this person had a genuine familiarity with Brown, possibly with that building as well. Have you, in questioning people, have you questioned and eliminated any Brown employees, current, former, disgruntled, facing discipline, any type of complaints?
Yeah, at this point, it's unknown to us. I think that the investigation is on, but it's unknown to us where this person works. It's unknown to us if he was an affiliate of Brown. That's all unknown to us. All we have is the image that we've been releasing and informed you all about it. And so we're hoping to get those answers eventually, who that person is or what their background is.
Okay, and a question, follow-up to the FBI, please.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I understand that the FBI has doing tower dumps of cell phone data, and I'm not sure if this is also happening, but if you're also checking the MAC addresses of any phones related to any of the Wi-Fi at residences or Brown University as well. If so, how long does it take to get that information? Have you really even received any preliminary information that is helping you narrow down any potential persons of interest?
I will say that I don't want to get into the specifics of the techniques that we use investigatively, but I will say that we are using every resource that we have to find this subject and bring him to justice.
But when it comes to cell phone data, how long does it take to get that information? Would we be getting weeks, months?
I will say that it varies as it relates to getting that type of data. I will say that everything that we're doing is getting expedited based on the gravity of what has happened here at Brown University.
Right next to you.
Have you recovered any physical evidence during these recent searches, and possibly including a gun magazine?
So we have done extensive searches both inside the location as well as outside. Yes, we have seized and found physical evidence.
And does that include a gun magazine?
We have found physical evidence.
Can you say where?
I'm not going to confirm. I'm sorry? Yeah. Please.
Colonel, for the past couple of days, we have zeroed in on this particular person of interest. Can you kind of help remind us about why you believe this is someone who possibly could be either the shooter or a suspect? And you've been very careful not to say a suspect. It's a person of interest, but this is the only video. Can you help remind us about why you believe this is the person, not looking for others?
Yeah, we have enough evidence, I think, that's taken us to that level to identify this individual as someone who was there immediately after, before a case in the area. There's enough for us to believe that's definitely a subject of interest based on descriptions, based on statements, and so that's the reason we're calling him a subject of interest, just to ensure that we have enough, and once we identify him, to be able to take the next step.
A quick follow. You were very clear not to use gender with the person in proximity to the person of interest, but you have been using male pronouns describing this person as a man. For this particular person of interest, we can say for sure you believe that we are looking for a man for the person of interest?
Correct.
In the back there.
At this point, and this is for the FBI, at this point, this person could be anywhere, right? I-95 runs right through the state. So how are you coordinating with other states to determine whether this person of interest could be elsewhere?
No, that's a great question. Through all of our field offices, we have 56 field offices throughout the United States, as well as legats abroad. And so the information that we have, once it goes into our data systems, we are sharing that information real time with all of our FBI field offices and the partners as well. And so that is a way in which we're making sure that whether that subject has left the state or even left the country, that we are using that full reach of the federal arm to track that individual down.
And a follow-up real quick for one of you. I understand that Brown has 1,200 cameras. Why, and that those images have been handed over to the investigation, why have we not seen any of this footage? Wouldn't it help if the media or if the general public saw people walking through campus and just to get angles?
Yeah, I mean, my answer to that is footage of students running from the scene doesn't help advance identifying this person or this investigation.
Him walking into the building?
No, not him. I'm talking about video footage of students that were not harmed, other students hearing shots, running through a different part of the building. We have video footage of that. That doesn't help us identify this individual.
With respect, Attorney General, I think we could all agree that maybe, within the 24 hours ahead of that time, there is a lot of footage that could be gone through or controlled. Those 1,200 cameras that you say there are in the school, why hasn't that just been released to the public?
Well, let me play devil's advocate. Would you like all of it?
Why not?
Well, because here's why. Because it doesn't tell us anything about who committed this crime yet. If we get a better image of who committed this crime, you'll have it. There is no effort to preclude the public, online investigators in the press, from getting to the result faster than we can. If you can identify this person faster than we can, have at it. But we are giving you the best evidence we can to identify this person. The FBI, with respect, cannot find a person we have not identified yet. The way we identify him is to focus on this person, exhaust our investigative resources to pull videotape so that we can get an image out there that the public may be able to identify. At the same time, exploiting other evidence to try to track this person in different ways, which has been going on for the last 72 hours. So, well, what does that look like? What that looks like is information comes in. It could come in from the tip line. The team runs it to ground. They rely on other evidence, the flock cameras that the colonel referenced, other electronic data that Amanda's referring to, and you can rule that person in or out. When that person's is ruled out, you move on to the next one. The way the public helps us now is to help us identify this person. Okay, but that's not the exclusive way we're going at it. But it does not advance our investigation to have reams of data out there that don't help identify the shooter. And we're confident of that.
My follow-up question just to that was as well is, we speak a lot about the public helping as well, and we know that the FBI is involved. But 5 days, a person can get very far in 5 days. What other state police departments are helping you with this? And do you have any indication how far this person may have gotten in this time?
Well, go ahead,
Yeah,
Colonel.
no, I got it. So pretty much, it's a great point, and that's something that we're considering. Obviously, he could be anywhere. You're right. And I think the fact that we're all here in this room and we're providing the info and it's being spread out through this nation, I would hope, I'm speaking to different chiefs. I've had the privilege to know a lot of them. We're exchanging info as we speak. We don't know. But we still don't know what the person is or who he is, right? And so we're going to continue to view, review, and then send out. And I just want to touch on that question because you do make a good point. If there's 1,200 cameras, right, how come we're not seeing it at all? But at the end of the day, we're looking at key evidence, key video evidence to send out. It makes no sense to re-victimize students who went through that. That's not my job, and that my responsibility is to ensure that people are safe. It's no different than I'm asking the public to provide me with video footage for weeks. I don't want to know what's going on in their homes for weeks. I want to know if they can see a piece of evidence that is going to be helpful for us to progress in this investigation.
What do you know about the level of public access to Darris and Holly? Is this a door that somebody from the shooter would have been able to walk in, or is this a place where you would have needed swipe access to get in?
Certainly. Thanks for that question. Brown is no different than most colleges and universities that during daytime hours, there's open access to academic spaces. So that was the case on the day of the event.
Phil?
Question for Brown. There are some buildings on campus that have what may be private or non-police security guards posted at the front entrance. Was there a security guard ever posted at the engineering building entrance? If so, were they there that day, and what did they do? And if not, why not?
So maybe I'll ask our chief of police to speak to that.
On that day, we did not have and do not have a security asset posted inside the building.
Is that atypical of a Saturday or in that particular building? How do you determine where security is posted, and is that under the purview of Brown Police?
That is, and that is typical for that academic space.
That there would not be a security personnel?
Correct.
Hey, Brian, there you go.
One for the colonel, one for the newsman. As far as the investigation goes, any updates on a possible motive here? And for the mayor, while I have you, we're getting towards Christmas time. Obviously, this suspect can get lots of different places, not just on campus there. What is your message to people coming into this area, seeing family who are concerned that this guy is still out?
Yeah, so the motive is unknown at this time.
We're, what are we, a week away from Christmas now? This only emphasizes the question that I think everyone's been asking, which is, are we safe in Providence right now? Which honestly is the hardest question that I keep getting asked. And whether it's the holidays or not, but with the holidays, we expect even more people to want to come home and celebrate with family and share the traditions that, you know, seared in all of our brains of holidays with our parents and loved ones. We can't lock down the city indefinitely. We can't. And I know this city. I know they're tough. I know that they are resilient. I know that they have faced scary times before. And so we are doing everything possible to provide extra law enforcement, extra visibility, things to reassure confidence at a scary time. And it is a scary time here in the city. That's true at Christmas time. That was true when this started on Sunday morning, the first morning after. And so we are doing everything possible, but obviously families are going to have a conversation about what's right and what's best. But they should know that their city government is doing everything they know how. And thanks to the help of our friends, the governor and the Rhode Island State Police, our neighboring communities here in Rhode Island. For those of you who aren't from Rhode Island, this is a tight-knit place. And we have police officers from every corner of Rhode Island helping out in Providence right now. And so we are doing everything we can to reassure folks, to provide comfort, particularly as we expect will be even busier a week from now. And that is the best honest answer that I can give to that very difficult question. Please.
This question is for the Colonel. I know you've been interviewing survivors, specifically survivors that were in that classroom where the shooting took place. Have any of those survivors described the person of interest as the shooter, or have they given a physical description of the shooter that is similar to the person of interest that we've been shown?
That's correct. Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
They have.
Yes.
Can you tell us how many actionable tips
No.
you've received at this point?
Happy to see Steve Klampkin.
Thanks very much, Mayor. And a two-part question, both for Colonel Perez and Mr. Doxel, FBI. As you've expanded the area that you've appealed to people who may have cameras within about an 80-block area, is it fair to say that the calls of people with cameras have tailed off, that you've gotten about all you can get?
No, we're still getting info. We're still getting calls, and we're doing a lot of knocking on doors, and it's been extremely helpful. So no, we're not done. We're going to continue to expand, and we get calls, and sometimes just knocking on doors alone is providing us that evidence.
And notwithstanding the fact the FBI issues a bulletin to all of its field offices and so forth, is it fair to say that until and unless you get a picture of this guy stepping into a car, you're not going to, basically starting from square one? sense of who he is, where he's going, and how he's getting there.
I would say, as it relates to the FBI, as well as our partners here, any information that comes in, that has not tailed off at all. And I would say one thing that remains constant is we will always need the public's assistance in anything that we do. No matter what you guys may see on TV, we will always need the public's assistance. I say as it relates to that, any tip that comes in, the information that we get, we're able to aggregate that and push out, not only to make links with other FBI field offices, so in a way in which we can follow that lead all the way to ground. And so the information that is coming in, we are pushing that out throughout our field offices, throughout our partnerships, into that community, and then we get it back as well. That's helping us to cross off leads in which are not valid, and then to push on leads that are valid as well.
But without that, I don't know if it's a video or something that shows him stepping into a car and you get a plate or something along those lines, it makes your job that much more difficult.
Yes, and I mean, I think we mentioned this job is painstakingly difficult, but we've signed up to do it. As the AG mentioned, we have not lost any vigor or investigative rigor as we've gone forth into this. I will say that evidence that you're talking about sounds more like a smoking gun. Oftentimes, within my experience in the FBI, and I'm sure our partners as well, we get seeds. We only get seeds. And then we, through that hard work, as the Colonel mentioned, we end up building that story. We put that puzzle together. That's what we do. That's what we signed up for, and we're committed to that, to this community, to help do that.
In the back there. Yeah.
Thank you. Colonel. Yes. I want to follow up on one of my colleagues over there. You mentioned the old school police work, and my colleague mentioned crossing people off the list, like basically making sure it's not that person, it's not that person. In homicide investigations, isn't it usually someone close to the victim? And if so, and the person also seemed to have no ground somewhat, have you knocked off every single person from ground? When I say knocked off, I mean they didn't do it, they didn't do it, they didn't do it, from staff to students?
Yes, of course. I mean, investigations, and I don't think that in every homicide, everyone that commits the homicide is close to that person. That's not something that happens. But we have obviously eliminated those strong leads that come up as strong leads. As a tip comes up, we label it as a high priority, medium priority, low priority. And yes, once we vet it through and make sure that we cover everything and we prove that that person has nothing to do with it, absolutely, we clear it out.
Yeah, and if I can I just want to jump in here to clarify that. So clearly, one of the investigators do clearly, is that when you have a victim, you build back all other relationships. You do that in any case, and so you build a profile of your victims, so you know who may have threatened them, what they may have said that might have caused somebody to react a certain way. So yeah, that work is ongoing in conjunction with all the other work we're doing. But from where I sit today, there's been no development of any evidence that suggests that that's what drove this shooter. That could change, but there's nothing that we have covered or analyzed to date that suggests that it was specific person motivated. Again, could change, but we're 5 days out. That work is being done, and there is nothing that suggests that at this time.
Last question.
This is for law enforcement and potentially Brown, but 5 days have passed. How is it possible that we still don't have a clear idea of who was in the classroom during the shooting?
5 days have passed. It could be 6 days. We were hoping that only 1 day passed. Unfortunately, investigations, as this nature of investigation, as intensive as it is going to take time. And it's going to take a lot of time to be able to interview, seize evidence, examine it, to come up with the right person. But as the general stated, a person is going to get caught. We're going to do our job, and we're not going to stop until we do. And so we're going to continue. It could be later, it could be tomorrow, but we're not stopping until we find them.
But surely there's a log or something of people entering that classroom in particular now?
No, I'd be happy to speak to that. So at this time of year, we have final exams taking place. We also have study sessions taking place. That particular classroom, it was a study session. Had it been a final exam, we'd have a roster, we'd have handed it over. We know exactly who was in the room because everybody shows up for a final. But for a study session, it's elective.
We're finishing the answer. Ronaldo.
It's elective. It's elective to turn out for a study session. So we don't know exactly what fraction of the overall roster turned into a voluntary review
So
session.
there's no physical log, just to clarify?
Law enforcement is working to reconstruct that, but there would not be a formal log.
The camera in that building, they Brown put up because the sanctuary city law that we have, you don't want to record illegal immigrants, and you don't want to provide the footage to the FBI or immigration authority. One camera in that building, it come out from your detectives, they are friends of mine, they're angry at this investigation that these people in Brown University put the camera off, they can identify that person. You imagine how the family want to go through? Tell the truth to the media here. Putting cameras off.
We heard from both the Brown Police Chief and the Provost at Brown, who have shared that they have been fully cooperative and been forthcoming with all data and evidence that they have. The City of Providence's experience is the same. Brown has been really cooperative and collaborative and fully sharing with us. We will be back here tomorrow. Once again, if you are not on the press list and you would like to be updated, please see Camille. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Yes, at 4.
Thank you, Mayor.